everybody. So, how are things? So, basically, I just wanted to talk to you about something that is, well, frankly, kind of frightening going on. Now, let me start by saying that the title is not clickbait. Honestly, the reality is much worse than anything I could cram into the title. So, first of all, I'm not American. I know it freaks me out too, that there are actually people in the world who are not Americans. So, this is probably gonna affect the rest of y'all more than it affects me. Just saying. But I have the good fortune to live in a civilized country, which is to say, not America. But I do feel for people who are American, you know? Must be awful living in that awful country with all those awful people, you know? And, I know some things about how awful America is because I read about America from the outside. Like, there's a lot of the stuff I know about America that would not be covered in the regular corporate media, but is covered in the regular media, and I'm not talking about alternative media, just regular media of other countries. And, it would be nice if Americans had that too, but, pretty soon they're not going to. At least not if, certain extremely xenophobic people in the government get their way. So, basically, I'll link it in the video description how I found out about it, but basically, there's, something called the Restrict Act, which isn't the usual Orwellian doublespeak. It is actually really, really restrictive. There's something called the Restrict Act, which is, basically makes it illegal to look at websites or apps or whatever, especially through a VPN, that the government has decided, the government of the United States, I mean, I'm talking about America here, okay? That the government of the United States has determined to be hostile. And, well, what is hostile? Well, if you know anything about history, which I happen to, because, you know, that's just what I've studied, you will know that hostile means people who say things that I don't like. And that usually means people who tell the truth at a time when I would much prefer to have people believing some convenient lie. So who's hostile? Well, you already can't access Wikileaks from government computers. So, yeah, they're definitely hostile. They made RT, which is, you know, Russian public broadcaster, register as foreign agents, you know. So they're hostile. They tell the truth about things that America wouldn't. Just like American, you know, just like American PBS might tell the truth about something that Russia wouldn't. You know, this is how things work. Very few people are completely honest about themselves. If you want the truth about anyone, you need to ask someone who's not them. That's just the nature of the world. But what you do if you're a complete authoritarian is you make it illegal for people to ask someone else about you. Basically make a law to the effect that only I am allowed to talk about me and anyone else talking about it will go to prison for 20 years, which is literally what they're talking about now. And, you know, this is being talked about like it's a TikTok ban, but I mean, if you really think that they're planning on putting people in 20 years just for TikTok, I mean, they might, but they probably put people in prison for a lot of other things too. Like reading foreign news publications that they don't like because they have actual news in them. As opposed to celebrity gossip and nonsense, which is what you find in American corporate media. So, yeah. Just want to say, I'm glad that I'm not an American, because that means I might have a little bit of freedom, unlike Americans who now are at a point where, like, they could literally end up going to prison for 20 years for reading a website from another country. So, I mean, it's still being talked about. It might not happen, but if it does, well, Americans who think you're so free and all that, you just need to wear that L. Let me just say that. Wear the L. Because you should be envious of the civil liberties of North Korea if that goes through. Now, speaking of wearing the L, I've been using high explosive rounds here when I should be using armor piercing. No wonder I'm not penetrating the Yamato. Okay, well, time to go out in style. 'Tis a far, far better thing. I call that the Tehran. Well, that's it, I guess. Bye!